Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this video from. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ching and I am very excited about today's video, like every other video that I've created before. But in today's video is one of the goals that I did set for this year, and I'm happy I'm actually trying my best to make sure that I meet that goal, however big, small it may be. But in today's video, I'm going to walk you guys through an amazing recipe that I just came across, and it is a recipe for Italian cake. Now, this cake is going to be very moist. When I look for different recipes, I'm very particular with the texture of the cake. I'm originally from Kenya, and back in Kenya, the texture of the cake was more you could it was more chewable than the cake textures in the US. It's usually too soft for me. So sometimes when I'm craving a dessert and I want to feel like it's a dessert that I would have back in Kenya, I'm always particular with the type of recipe that I go with. Also, this is my first time creating this cake, so I have never done it before, but I love cooking. I'm trying to improve my baking skills. Baking is not for the faint-hearted. You have to follow every step. You have to be patient. The degrees, the temperature, everything has to be in line. So in this video, the recipe in this video requires you to have all of your ingredients in room temperature already. So I already did that step. Everything that I'm going to use, that I'm going to show you as I walk through this video, they're all in room temperature, and that is very important. With my previous experience with baking, I have learned that makes or breaks your recipe. So it's very important. And if you have not subscribed and it's your first time getting if it's your first time watching this video and you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe and leave a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. I usually just try different recipes. I love food. I love different cuisines. Cooking is my passion. I am not biased. As long as it's a recipe that I love, I will create it no matter where it is inspired from. So I hope you enjoy. Welcome. And to my already subscribed viewers, thank you so much for your support. God bless you. I really hope that you enjoy this video. For this video, I'm just going to show you how I execute that recipe and how the cake comes out at the end. I have faith that it's going to go through. So let us walk through this journey. Thank you for joining me, and let me know what you think about the recipe. I'm going to walk you through the ingredient. Is it a cake that you have tried before? It's Italian cake, and it has some pecans in it and coconut, and it's just amazing. It gets crunchy a little bit. It has a good texture, let me put it that way. And the frosting that is used in this cake is one of my favorite frosting. I cannot lie about that. So let me know what you think about this video, and again, thank you so much for your support. So the ingredients that we are going to need for our Italian cream cake is pecans. We'll need eggs. We'll need 2 large eggs. I am going to use 3 because of the size of the eggs that I have. And again, remember guys, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, everything is in room temperature. We're going to use buttermilk. The what I'm using is 1.5 cup of buttermilk that is in room temperature. We're going to use shredded coconut. The recipe did call for sweetened shredded coconut. I did not I try to limit the amount of sweetness in my cooking sometimes if I can. So I'm using unsweetened shredded coconut. And then we're going to use some baking powder, cornstarch, baking soda, salt, and the essence, which is very important. The essence that we are going to use for this recipe is the almond extract essence, and we're going to mix it with vanilla. I'm using the vanilla extract from Madagascar, but you can use any type of brand. And then of course we cannot forget our butter. We are going to need 12 tablespoons of butter. So that is what we are going to use. But first, what I'm going to do is, this is our baking pans. You can use uh, a bigger baking pan or a different baking pan. I'm using these two 9-inch baking pans. And what I'm going to do, this step is very, very important. If you do not want your cake to stick on the baking pan, you have to make sure you prepare the baking part first part of it. And also, I've already preheated the oven. We're going to bake this cake under 350 Fahrenheit degrees Fahrenheit, and I've already prepared that. So our oven is ready. So what I'm going to do, this is the bowl that I'm going to use for the mixture. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the amount of butter that we are going to use, because I like using this paper to use as a prime for my baking pans, as a non-stick agent for my baking pans. You can use what is it called? You can use oil spray if you have. I just like maximizing everything that I'm using and not waste anything. So this is the other amount. For this recipe, it calls for 12 tablespoons. So this is equal of 8 tablespoons. So I am going to, so what I need from here, I just need 1, 2, 3, 4 to add it to 8. Sorry, to add it to 12 tablespoons. So I'm just going to expose this and use my knife. I always have extra tools ready just in case. But I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. So I need this much from this stick. There we go. Sure I get the right. And voila. I'm also going to set this aside because I need this paper. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to face that down. I'm going to use some of the butter that I had on the side. Just spread it. And this is unsalted butter that we are using for this recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and spread it all around using this paper. Make sure you go through all these corners. Also, you can use a parchment paper, which I've used in my previous video where I made chocolate marble cake. If you have not watched that video, please check it out. But in this video, I am just going to use butter. Perfect. And as you can see, I have the butter all spread it out. And look at that. It is evenly distributed, and I'm going to do the same for this. I'm going to add some butter. Perfect. Going through the sides. perfect. You have to take your time because these steps can literally break or make your cake. So just take your sweet time, don't rush it. And perfect. We have that very important step of preparing our baking pan ready. I'm going to set these aside. Now it's time for the fun part. We are going to begin preparing our dry ingredients first because we'll need our dry ingredients ready before we got to our wet ingredients. So I have my all-purpose flour that I'm going to be using for this recipe. And for the all-purpose flour, we need 2 2/3. So I'm going to get a knife. We're going to use that to sift our cake just because our flour, just because we want our cake to be smooth. That was 2 cups. Then the remaining part is 2/3. Here. There we go. And our flour is ready. Going to have this towel in hand to clean as I go. Because as we all know, when it comes to making a cake, it gets messy. So our flour is ready. I'm going to proceed with adding 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Here's our baking powder, and this baking powder is from Kenya. Here's our 1 teaspoon. Okay, and I'm going to set this aside. I need 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. There we go. Also, I need some salt, and for the salt is just 1 teaspoon, which is here. So I'm just going to perfect. There we go. I'm going to mix this. Just making sure it's good. And then after this, I am going to proceed to the batter. Okay, so we have our batter, and also what I'm going to do, which is a different step actually from the regular cakes. For this recipe, it calls for us to add sugar. We're using granulated sugar. So what I'm going to do, I am going to add sugar, and for the sugar is 2 cups. So I have my cup here. Just going to have to do it this way. Oops. That's 1 cup. That's 2 cups. Okay. This is definitely different from the usual steps that I usually take, but I'm just going to trust the processes. It's my first time preparing this type of cake. And then the next round, I am just going to adjust to my liking. Usually the first time I just follow the recipe. I try my best to follow all of it. And then I also give myself some grace when I do that. So just making sure that we have everything that we need. We have our dry ingredients that we have already taken. So we are going to begin with softening. Just make sure I clean my station as I go. We're going to begin with softening the batter. So this is my batter. I'm going to use a hand mixer for this recipe. You can use a KitchenAid, you can use a Keurig, depending on what you have, but I'm just going to use this one. I'm going to kind of mix the sides just to make sure everything is mixed well. We want this batter to be very smooth. Okay. Just going to take some time to make sure this is mixed pretty well. You want to do this for about, let me say, 1 minute to 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, so I am happy with the texture that we have for the batter so far. I am going to set this aside. While it rests, we have our buttermilk here. And in this, for our wet ingredient, buttermilk is the source of the liquid that we are going to use. So I'm going to add the eggs in this mixture. It's egg number 1. We are going to use 3 eggs for this recipe. Perfect. And then from that, we are going to add our essence. We have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract that we need to add. So I have my 1 teaspoon and here's my vanilla. Go. And then I need to add half a teaspoon of almond extract. There we go. So what I'm going to do, I am going to whisk this together carefully because I do not have as much room in this measuring cup. So this is going to be our liquid mixture ingredient. Okay, that looks good. Perfect. This is how a liquid mixture looks like. Just making sure it's all smoothened. Perfect. So what we are going to do, going back to our batter, we have our dry ingredients and we have our flour. So what we are going to do, we are going to add 1 piece at a time. And before we begin with that, I have my pecans here And for the pecans, I'm just going to kind of heat them a little bit just to blend them a little bit so they're in smaller pieces, because we will need about 1 cup. I'm going to use this wooden spoon to kind of help me press them much better. Perfect. I do not want the pecans to be in big pieces. I just want them to be in small pieces. Perfect. I like the texture. And from this, I just need 1 cup. So I'm just going to get that ready. And perfect. I have that ready. I'll leave it there. And now we can proceed to the main piece. And what I'm going to do, I am going to use the hand mixture at the end, because this part, it might get a little bit messy, and I'm trying to prevent that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be adding interchanging the dry ingredient and our liquid ingredients. So I'm going to add just a little bit of this, about 1 cup. I'm going to mix. As you can see, it's getting grainy a little bit. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep on adding some good amount. And then what I'm going to do, correction, I'm going to add the butter at the end of it, and 1 step at a time. I am really trying to follow the recipe. Other cake recipe, it's usually you interchange, but in this recipe it says you add it one and then the other one. So I'm just going to follow it, but you could always change it up if you wanted to. So I'll keep on doing this. And then at the end of this, before I add the wet ingredient, I'm going to use the hand mixture to mix everything. This step just enables me to not make a mess. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I am going to use the hand mixture. And I'm going to be very gentle, just on speed 1. So the recipe calls for this mixture to look grainy. So I'm going to give it a little bit more mixture, making sure that everything is mixed. I am going to scrape the edges last time, making sure everything is incorporated. Going to scrape this too. Perfect. Now give it a last mix. So as you can see, our mixture now is grainy. It's very grainy. So that is how we want it according to our recipe. Perfect. So what I'm going to do now is add our wet ingredient one amount at a time. That. Going to mix this. I am going to pause and make sure I scrape edges. We do not want anything to be left behind of this amazing mixture that we are doing. And the batter is already forming, so that's a good sign. Remember, I do not want to over mix our cake batter because I want it to have some chewy texture to it. And that is why I decided to try this particular recipe. So I hope that works out. Okay, I'm just going to give it a final blend before adding the next ingredients. Perfect. Now we are going to proceed to the next step. And the next step is adding our shredded coconut. So I'm just going to add a little piece, half of it, and then half of this. And I'm going to mix. Just like so. And I'm going to add the remaining pieces. Just mix. I'm going to stir because I do not want to use the mixture for this step. All I need to do is just making sure that they're evenly distributed. Perfect. That looks good to me. Going to try and move some of these. Perfect. Perfect. And this is how our batter looks like. The pecan and the carrots, no God, the pecan and the coconut, I meant to say, are evenly distributed. So we are going to set this hand mixture on the side, hand mixer, I meant to say, on the side. And we are going to mix, clean, oh Lord, we are going to clean our working station, because all we have to do now is get this batter into our baking pans and into the oven. So I just need to make sure that I have some ample space. Just cleaning this pot. Like I said, baking is very messy. It's one of those things there's no way out. You just have to deal with it. Okay, that looks good to me. So now what I'm going to do next is grab our baking pans that are already ready, prepared for this, and I'm going to evenly distribute the cakes amongst these two. So what I'm going to do one scoop at a time. Okay. Just going to continue. You can use 3 baking pan inch. I'm just using 2 because I want 2 layers out of this cake. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to pause and try and spread our cake batter, pushing it to the sides. Just to get a feeling of the amount that we have. Perfect. Sometimes you just want to do this to help your cake spread. And then I'm going to continue with the next portion of this. Until our batter is evenly distributed. Perfect. Again. And that's it for now. So I am going to rinse my hands. Perfect. So our cake batter is ready. What we are going to do now is we are going to place this in the oven. And we're going to, the oven, like I mentioned before, it's already heated up, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and we are going to bake this for 30 minutes. But I am going to set my alarm so that between the 20 and 30 minutes, I'm going to check to make sure that the cake is ready, if I need to take it out or not, or if I need to add more time. Each oven is different, and that is why you always want to be very careful. So that's what I'm going to do, but for now I am just going to place this in the oven. So our cakes are ready. It's very hot, so I'm going to place them right here. And what we are going to do, they're very hot. We are going to let it sit for about 2 minutes, about 2 to 5 minutes, but it's just going to cool a little bit before removing it out of the pan, because if we remove it now, it is going to break, and we do not want that. So we're going to let this sit for about 2 to 5 minutes. So this is the moment where we find out if the cake came out the way we wanted it, and I have already decorated the cake. Guys, this is another video. If you have not watched it, please make sure you watch that video on how I decorated the cake. But this is what we have. Look at that. It looks beautiful. It looks professional. We have some gold decor here. I decorated with the cheese cream and the pecans, and look at how beautiful it looks like. It's a semi-naked cake and it just looks amazing. I'm very, very happy with what I see. So now is the revealing moment where we see how our cake came out. I have my plate ready and I have my spoon to scoop the cake ready. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut a small piece. That feels amazing already. I'm going to cut a piece where you can be able to see the layers. Perfect. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use this spoon. See if I'll be able to scoop. This is the moment of reveal. Look at that, guys. Oh my God. Look at that. That is our Italian cream cheese cake. It looks amazing. Look at that piece. This is amazing. All that effort was worth it. And this is how our cake looks like. Look at how it looks inside. It is a cake to be enjoyed with family. You can have it as a dessert. You can have it with coffee. I love having it as a dessert or having it for breakfast with black coffee. But guys, this is the result. I really hope that you enjoyed. I'm so happy with the results. I cannot wait to try it. But thank you so much for walking with me throughout this video, and I hope you learned a thing or two. I'm going to try other recipes for Italian cream cake. This was my first one. I'll taste and see if I like it. Definitely I'm going to change a thing or two next time, but today we are just going to enjoy this recipe and find a recipe that will cater for what we like if we do not end up liking it. But honestly, I love what I'm seeing, so I know I'm going to like it. But guys, let me know what you think about this recipe. Do not forget to subscribe. Until next time, bon appetit.